Got one question for you. Do you want to feel shitty? So I start. Welcome back,
Yeah.
movie nerds. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tom. I am your host. Today we are doing a warning, spoiler alert, spoiler review on Thor: Love and Thunder. So if you haven't seen this movie, I would suggest you pause this or save it on your list, then come back and watch our discussion on this movie. But if you already seen this movie, well, welcome. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Remember, please subscribe. Get us to the road to 100 subscribers. That's my that's my theme from now on is a road to 100 subscribers, because I'm getting there, but it's not there yet. So if you haven't, if you watch me around and maybe you clicked on me, you think we're pretty funny and enjoy our conversation, just hit that subscribe button, and that'd be great. Um, I think that's it. Let's get into this. Thor: Love and Thunder. This is. Oh, by the way, I do have a guest, Dave Owen. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Um, Thor: Love and Thunder. This is his fourth solo film. In fact, he's the only MCU character that has four movies, I believe, and I think he might have five coming up, according to that the ending
End
of
credit.
the end credit. This time we catch up with Thor. He's a little bit, I guess, not in a fighting mood. He's trying to figure out who he is. We first left Thor with Endgame, where he left as the new Asgard, and he's traveling with the Guardian of Galaxy. And at this moment, he lands on a planet, and he feels like he doesn't know who he's supposed to be, and he's trying to find himself. And then he has this conversation with Star-Lord, who played by Chris Pratt, who is in this movie for just a little bit, not that long. They show up in the beginning, and they're actually, the beginning was kind of funny, and it kind of kicks off on the tone of this movie. Whether you like that tone and whether you like the way that movie went, that's a different story. We'll talk about it. And Thor talks to Star-Lord, and Star says, hey, it's better not to, what did he say? It's better
to feel
love.
have love and feel shitty about losing that love than never having experienced it at all.
And that's the theme of Thor's character, at least in this character arc, is he's trying to find the love. He's trying to find which love he can, I don't know, his old ex-girlfriend who comes back, or even has that relationship between him, the hammer and the and the axe, which one he loves more. So there's the theme of love does come into play, and Tiki does talk about how he wanted to direct a love story within the MCU, and so you do get that. You also get, I think, to me, the best character in this is probably Gore. I mean, Thor was Thor. Like, he is the star of the movie. I like Thor. I like Gore, even though I think his story could have been fleshed out a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
But my favorite one is actually Natalie Portman redeem herself from the second one, which is The Dark World, which is a terrible movie. But to me, her character has an arc and actually ends the way I was hope that arc of a character would happen, and it did. And we'll talk about that as well. So now so that's where Thor is in his quest of finding love. And so you get that part of him. And so okay, Dave, tell me, what is your first impression when that credit ended and you saw the two post-credit scene? We'll talk about that too. What was your impression of this movie? First impression.
Too much Taika Waititi.
Okay, I can see that.
That's my first impression. Too much. My other impression was, it felt like it was almost parody. Almost a parody of an MCU movie.
To me, it was a spoof.
Yeah, exactly. A
Yeah.
spoof, a parody.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
it's like watching, I don't know, like Meet the Spartans.
Naked Gun 2,
Naked Gun 2. Yes.
Robin Hood, Man in Tight, like that
Yeah,
type of
it
movie.
felt like a parody. Yeah. And so yeah, too much Taika Waititi. And then I don't know. How do we want to talk about this? Do you want likes, then dislikes?
Let's just do with the likes first, because I think you and I will have a lot of things to talk about.
A lot
that
of gripes.
We didn't like. By the way, this movie is sitting at Rotten Tomato. I think it's at 70 something, I believe.
Really?
But go ahead. Yeah, talk about some of the things you like. I'll bring it up right now.
So I liked that they were pretty true to the source material for Jane Foster's Thor, the Mighty Thor. I liked that. They were pretty true to that. What else did I like? I did like the kind of the continuation of the theater of the previous story.
Matt Damon.
Who else was that? Sam Neill and the other
guy is Chris Hemsworth's
brother.
Yeah.
And they kind of got a nod to a couple of their movies when Jane Foster mentions Interstellar with Matt Damon and Event Horizon with Sam Neill. So I like those callbacks and the nod to the wormhole movies. So those were kind of and the set design, the visual effects, they went big, they went hard on it. So I enjoyed the visual effects and the set design. So those are my likes.
Nothing about the story yet. Okay. No, that's fine.
It was okay, but it's not on my top list of what I liked about the movie.
Right now, like it's sitting at 68% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
It's still fresh, but the audience score is at 81. So,
really?
Yeah. So folks, okay, this movie is what I thought I didn't want it to happen. Now I'm talking about the like, but I just want to tell you what. Let me right off the bat. I know people online say you don't like Ragnarok. No, I didn't. I not that I didn't think the movie was good. I thought the movie was fine. The one thing I didn't like about it is, well, now watching this movie, I kind of like maybe okay, Ragnarok was not that bad, but I hate it. It's just everybody had a joke. It turned out to be Guardian of Galaxy 2. Too much joke, too much. Yeah. But here's the thing: people are gonna like it, and some people aren't. If you like that type of movie, like my wife, she likes them, and she thinks it's funny. I can see why, because it is funny, and Taika is very funny, and he does funny comedy movies and show. Like what we do in Shadow is one of my favorite. Fantastic film. One of my favorite. Jojo Rabbit, and but see, Jojo Rabbit had enough funny, but actually had some really tone. And I thought maybe you can get both of, but man, you get a lot of very like jokey, like every single line was a joke. There's no break in between. There's maybe a couple scenes that I thought, okay, some emotional scene, which you get from the beginning and then in the like towards the end and then the ending. And so you get somewhat of the serious tone there, but everything else was just like all joke. And so if you go into this movie and you like that type of movie, which is fine. Like, I mean, I love Robin Hood Men in Tights. I love that movie, man. And it's everything is a joke in that movie. Although I don't know if you can make that movie in today's time. I don't think so, but
a black sheriff worked in Blazing Saddles.
My favorite one we're seeing in that is when he starts singing to Perry. The night is young and you're so beautiful. This is my favorite. Anyways, so what I like about this movie, first of all, I do like Gore, the God Butcher. I like the acting isn't the problem in this movie at all. I think the acting is fine. Chris Hemsworth can be funny, and he is funny. But Gore the God Butcher, Christian Bale is Christian Bale, folks. He's such a great actor.
Yeah.
And you get that emotional scene with him in the beginning, which I felt. Now, I do agree with. I think you and I will have to agree. Like, I feel like his story could have been drawn out more.
Yeah, definitely.
And in the comics, is that he actually did. He wasn't the only person that lived. He still had his people, except they were dying of starvation, and he cursed the god, and the leader of his tribe kicked him out. And then happens to be that two gods fell next to him and were fighting each other, and one of them was with the sword and killed the god. Now the sword is different because they don't have the rights to the symbiote.
Is that what the sword is?
Yeah,
symbiote from
it comes from
that.
He's
got the rights to that. Right
yeah,
now.
so that's what his sword in the comics are made of. But Sony got the rights to it, so they had to come up with something else, and which is what's the word sword?
The Necro sword.
The Necro sword or something. Yeah. Anyway, she go out of shadow. So you get that scene, which I like. I like Natalie Portman. I like her as an actor. Me and my wife always argue. She doesn't like Natalie Portman for some reason. Yeah, but she is a great actress. And I feel like this movie, I was telling her, redeemed her from the second one, which is Dark World, like I said. And I loved her art. I love his
that wasn't
character.
her fault. Like
it wasn't
her performance.
No, it wasn't
in
her
Dark
performance.
World.
It's just more of the script.
Yeah.
And the story that goes behind. And the villain there was weak. But anyway, yeah. I liked, there are jokes that landed for me. The beginning was hilarious.
This ends here and now.
When he gave the speech, and then when what's his name? The Rock. What's his name?
Korg.
Korg, when he narrate what's going on.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. I thought it was hilarious. So you get the funny, which is fine. The other thing I like is I do like the story. Now, the story is good enough, but it got overshadowed by all these jokes that you don't really get to explain, or even like, how do I say it? It's kind of like hidden behind, it's behind all the jokes, and you can't really follow it because
that's why I feel like it's a parody.
Yeah, it is. So. What else do I like? I like the ending.
Yeah.
I love the ending. I thought, I'm glad that Gord didn't wish for all the gods to die. It kind of redeemed him a little bit in that sense. And you can tell there's still good in him when he thinks about his daughter. And I love that line when Natalie Portman was like, she won't be alone. She will be loved, or whatever she said. And I thought that was pretty emotional scene. So, and the other scene I love, of course, all the emotional scene. I love the fact when Thor was talking to Jane, and she's like, looked like she's gonna die.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that actually, I don't think we ever heard Thor say, "I love you" to anybody. Nope. I don't recall. I love that scene. It kind of breaks down.
Talking about the one in the hospital.
The hospital, yeah. And that he tells him that he loves her. And that, to me, I believe, their chemistry was like on point in this movie. I love the chemistry. I love the little flashback of them get together before they separated. And so I thought that was cool. Hey, did you see that guy? Remember Thor did a little clip of like when he had a roommate. Did you ever seen that?
Oh yeah.
Darrow or something like that.
Yeah.
Was he in that? He was in the movie.
No, I missed that.
You missed it.
That's awesome.
It was in the hallway after they took the children, and he's trying to direct people, and he goes by the side. I was like, hey, that's the roommate. And so I thought that was cool. They made an appearance. And so,
yeah, that's awesome.
So that's pretty much what I like. I mean, like, I like Chris Hemsworth, Thor. He's he owns this role. I don't think anybody else can play Thor. And then Lanny Portman,
except for Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, I guess. So let's talk about let's talk about some things that you don't like. What are some things that didn't work for you in this movie?
It's too many jokes, man. I think we've beaten this dead horse, but yeah, too many jokes. And I feel like there was too much Korg narration. Like if it was once, maybe twice, like once in the beginning, once in the end, but it was like 3-4 times throughout the movie. So there's too much of that. I felt like Korg's like small death scene where he wasn't actually dead was wasted.
I mean,
Like,
did you think he was gonna die? I didn't think he was.
No, I didn't, but like they tease it for half a second. But which could have been an emotional driver.
Well, it kind of got him pissed off.
It did,
fact,
yeah.
That was the only time I think that. I mean, besides maybe when Jane was being choked out, but
yeah,
like, Thor actually went Thor, and that's the thing that we haven't seen that Thor in a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
In a long time.
Yeah. What else didn't I like?
Dave texts me, Thor.
It's a big meh. It's a big meh. Like this, like you said, the story was hidden behind all of it. Man, the Guardians was real short. Like, I don't know. I like that Band-Aid was ripped off real fast, which is fine, I guess. But like, I feel like it could have been a little bit more.
I do like the fact that they didn't do more of those, like, in Endgame where Star-Lord and Thor was like going back and forth. Who's
I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they actually like it seems like Star-Lord like fighting with him, like being around him. So it seems like they're getting along in that sense.
Yeah. I don't know. I just wasn't super impressed with the whole thing.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of like what I could pick out that I really don't like, but like in general, it wasn't a great movie for me.
You didn't? Okay. So you would you say you didn't like it at all, or?
I enjoyed myself while I was there, but it's not something I'm going to be running back to the theaters to watch again.
Okay.
Like when it comes out on Disney Plus, but I'm not running back to it anytime soon.
I can see that.
So, what else I didn't like was the Hammers relationship thing. Like, I felt like that really made it parody. Like, he was actually talking to the two Hammers. He even at one point went to Stormbreaker and like little tickle under the hammer side. I'm like, that's weird.
Or that's the thing, it
was weird.
I think the first time they did it, it was funny.
Yeah.
But they kept going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, it's time to move on from this joke. But
I didn't like it.
Kept going. And so
it was annoying. It was weird. It was annoying. So
okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So for me, of course, for some reason, I thought Ragnarok. I didn't like Ragnarok because I thought it was the same thing. It was too many jokes. But after watching this movie, guys, Ragnarok was actually more balanced than this movie. Because Ragnarok has some jokey, point and stuff. Yeah. But there were some heavy stuff and some emotional stuff that balanced it out. This film, there's no balance except for those three scenes: the beginning, the hospital scene, and the ending. And so you really don't get any like there's no balance. 70% went to the jokes, 30%, which is the three, went to those three scenes. I love the fact that let me talk about most in the ending, when I'm so glad that they didn't have Jane survive.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean she can't come back alive. Right, this is the MCU. Right. But at least at this point in this film, she's no longer alive. And I love the fact that she sacrificed herself. That's one of the things I love about her character, is that, or, redeem herself, is she was connected with the hammer, and she's seeing what's going on with Thor, and she's feeling his pain. She's willing to take that chance, and she did, to fight one more time. And she sacrificed. She's basically sacrificed herself so that Thor wouldn't get killed.
She knew that she wouldn't be able to survive if she picked that hammer up.
I love that arc. So I love the fact that happened, and I love her character. And so let's go back to what we didn't like. I didn't like the fact that it was just not balanced. Yeah. And I feel like there's so many jokes. The other one was the gods when they were meeting in the Olympus.
Oh yeah, the city of the gods, Omnis City or whatever, Omnipotency City.
What they did with Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
It
was a waste.
I hated it. I mean, it was funny. Don't get me wrong. I find it funny. But for him to be prancing around My wife is laughing
Picked up his
because
skirt
she loves that
and
scene. Like prancing around and walking down the thing. I'm like, what are we doing? What are the gods? These are they make the gods look like buffoon. Like
yeah,
that's one of the things I hate about Ragnarok was that they neutered Hulk. They
yeah.
made him into this little like side gimmick, like this the punchline kind of a thing. It's like, and Hulk is, in fact, the MCU basically neutered Hulk, to be honest. It's not the same Hulk that we had with the Hulk, the only movie they ever made with
Ed Norton.
Ed Norton. That
Yeah.
Hulk was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
But now they neuter him, and Ragnarok kind of did the same thing. Man, what they did with the gods, I didn't like it at all. I love the scene when Thor fights, and then the action is there. I love the action, and
yeah, the action was all right.
I mean, for what the movie is, I don't.
Yeah.
It's probably the highlight of the movie.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
But compared to the other one, no, of course. But this is different, and so I don't like that scene. What they did with Zeus. Oh man, I wanted Russell Crowe from Gladiator.
From Gladiator.
Are you not entertained? But no, he's a gimmick.
It's
just
a talking
gimmick.
about orgies.
Yeah. I'm like, what? What's going on here? And it's like, and I hate the fact that they, I mean, not all the gods are like that, but they made gods very like the, excuse my language, the assholes, man.
Yeah.
These guys are just a prick.
Yeah.
Like they don't care about the people at all. It's like,
but isn't that how like the Greek pantheon is though?
Yeah,
like,
I know. And then
they are just for themselves.
Yeah. And so that's why I don't like what they did with that. What else I don't like? So the children fighting.
Yeah. Oh,
I didn't like that. Like, really? Like, I get I'm supposed to suspense reality. Yeah. Like, okay, they have the Thor power, but they never learn how to fight.
Yeah.
Hence the ending when they were being trained to fight. So all of a sudden now they know how to fight. Like I don't believe that at all. I don't think that was it was just not believable. I couldn't suspense the reality of that. Like people talk about Cobra Kai. Have you ever watched Cobra Kai?
Yeah, yeah.
They're like, how are these kids fighting like that? They're like the ninjas.
It's like Power Rangers.
Yeah, but at least they have some training
right.
that we know of. These kids have no training. They have no training, and then they go and they beat these monsters.
But like, Jane didn't either.
Well, that's it. Well, she did, but remember, there was a period of time that she got the hammer. We don't know how long they left, like how long it took Thor to come back to Asgard. She was there. You don't know that. And remember, when she was doing it, Valkyrie was said, "Oh, she's still learning." So
that's true. So
she's learning. So
okay,
that's something that I believe that more than the kids.
More than the kids.
It's like, come on, really?
Yeah.
And so for me, this movie was just so many, like at a certain point, I believe Thor needs to come out of this goofiness. It's just too goofy.
Yeah, I rewatched the first Thor, and I didn't realize it was Kenneth Branagh that directed that movie.
Thor, that is probably third underrated, like to me, my list, third underrated superhero movie of all time. Third underrated.
I can see that.
I love the first Thor. It was Shakespearean.
Yeah.
Is that the word, right?
Shakespearean.
Shakespearean. And so you get that sense of like you get the pride, the fall, the redemption. You get that. And so the best Thor, the best Thor that we got was Infinity War.
Yeah.
The best Thor.
Oh yeah.
Because you get the jokey Thor in a little bit, but you get
he's emotional and he's damaged and he's broken and he's just like grasping at straws trying to find hope. And this Thor, there's like very little, if any, of that. Like he's looking for love, but I just he's got to come out of this complete joke about everything. Thor, like nothing is serious anymore with Thor.
No, and that's the sad part. And here's another ending, like, oh my gosh, this one. When they go to that snowy planet with that god, the animal, it's one of the kindest god ever. And then he sees what's his name, Lady Sif, whatever. It's a serious serious situation, and they still make a joke out of it.
Yep. Yeah.
That part to me, I'm like, guys, what are you doing? She like, oh,
She's let me die so I can go to Valhalla. And he's like, well, you kind of have to die in battle. She's like, oh shit.
And then her arm, like, oh, but maybe your arm went there. Like,
yeah. Everything was a joke.
Like, that can't be a joke. That's a serious, what just happened? She could have died, but they threw it in as a joke. And I just find that really cringing. I don't know. That's most of the things that I didn't like. But I still was entertained by this movie. I didn't think it was, I don't think it's a bad movie, but I just feel like we need to come out. I know Thor has different, he's probably the most character to have different art.
Yeah. Yeah.
More than any other characters in the MCU. He was, serious, and he was, unsure of himself. Then he was fat Thor.
Fat and depressed.
Then you get this goofiness, and it's kind of like, well, at a certain point, the goofiness has to go. You can't. It just doesn't work. It becomes Guardian of Galaxy to me, and it just didn't. That's the part I didn't like about the movie. And so, anything else that you can think of that we need to talk about?
How do we feel about Thor coming back?
I just wonder how many more. Well, what is he going to come back in though?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Let's talk about Phase 4 MCU.
Yeah, where is it going? I don't know where it's going. I have no idea.
I agree with you, dude. Like, I was talking to my wife and some people online. Like, I feel like there's no what's the word I'm looking for? Connectivity. I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah. No,
with any of the movies. Like, we're going to realms now. Like
alternate realities, the multiverse, and
then you get the celestial, the gods. Like,
oh yeah, there were a couple of celestials in this movie too, in the gods city. Yep.
So where do we go?
I don't know.
Where is this phase gonna connect? How are they gonna come together this phase? Now, I'm not sure. I'm guessing that we're heading towards Secret War.
Okay, but isn't that an Earthbound like Avengers storyline?
Yeah, but remember Kevin Feige said that they're not going to name it Avengers anymore. There's no more Avengers movie.
Okay, yeah.
It's going to be something else, and so,
which is fine. Like, the Avengers are done.
Yeah. I just don't know where this phase is going. I feel like it's one of the most confusing. It's probably one of the most not underrated. It's probably not overrated, but like, what's what I'm looking for? Like,
overhyped.
Yeah, it's not that great yet.
Yeah.
In Phase 4, we still have a couple more shows. I think another movie coming out, I believe, in Phase 4. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think, is part of Phase 4, I believe.
Oh yeah, Ant-Man.
Quantum
what's
Realm?
it called? Quantum Realm.
Something like that. Quantum Mania. I think.
Is that how they're going to connect it?
I don't know. Who's the big bad?
I don't know.
Kang the Conqueror? Is he the big bad?
Maybe.
But if that's the case, they don't sprinkle him in any of the movie like he did with Thanos. Because at least Thanos, we get a glimpse of him.
Yeah, he was mentioned. We saw him at the end of Avengers. Yeah. So, but yeah, that was 3 phases of Marvel of MCU before we actually got a movie with him in it.
That's true.
So
now let's talk about the post-credit scene, because it does lead into the last one. I think that's very important.
The second post-credit scene, not the mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
So the mid-credit scene was Zeus is not dead, and
he can't die because he's a god.
But how do the other gods die?
Well, they weren't killed. They were killed by the necklace, the sword. That's the only sword that can kill the gods.
That's the only one that can kill the gods.
Yeah.
So all that whole fighting in the scene in the city, none of those gods died. All the gold dust.
I don't think those are gods. I think those are just their guards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think.
All right.
But I do believe.
So the end credits. And so we're not talking about Hercules because they're going to bring Hercules in.
It's not that important. But
you don't think it's going to be important?
No, they're going to bring him in. But here's the thing: more characters, and yet we don't even know who's supposed to be the leaders of this so-called Avengers group.
Oh yeah, the Secret Wars.
But at least I liked what Russell Crowe did in that post-credit scene. That's the Zeus I want to see.
He wasn't all. He was serious.
Yeah.
He was vengeful.
And then you get a reveal Hercules, who's played by the guy in Ted Lasso. He's in Ted Lasso.
Oh, I didn't recognize it.
He's that grumpy old player in Ted Lasso. He's good. He's a good.
I haven't seen Ted Lasso.
Oh my gosh. You know what?
I've heard good things.
Really good. And I heard the hype. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch it. And I watched it. Damn, it's pretty good.
It lived up to the hype for you. Yeah. Okay, so the end credit scene then. So Natalie Portman arrives in Valhalla.
Yeah.
Or Jodie Foster. Jane
Foster.
Jane Foster arrives in Valhalla because she died.
And she meets who?
Heimdall.
And this is where there. So this is the realms where that mythology goes to after they die. This is very important because so far we have seen 3 different type of realm. You see it in Black Panther, the planes. We see it in Moon Knight, the boat, and now we see it in Asgard perspective.
Valhalla. Okay.
So, are we going towards Mephisto in that realm?
Yeah.
Are we gonna see Wanda in hell? Like this is why this post-credit scene is important, because they're introducing these type of afterlife realm in 3 different type of movie and show.
3 mythologies.
So this is very important. So we're going towards that realm now. Now here's the things that I do have concern is now can Natalie Portman come back to life? I mean, she could, I guess. The MCU doesn't kill people away. I hope she doesn't. I think Jane Foster should just stay where she is.
Yeah, that should complete her arc.
Yeah, and I love it. I loved the way her arc ended up, and so. But this confused me even more because, okay, you introduce all this realm, you introduce multiverse, you introduce time variance, you introduced all these things.
Yeah,
quantum realm.
How are they going to keep it connected? How is Kevin Feige acting as the puppet master in this? It's all over the place.
All over the place. I don't know, man.
It makes me not so excited for coming Marvel films, even though they have so much source material that they can draw on.
I know.
They have way more than like Star Wars to draw on.
Way more.
So,
but here's the issue, though. It might be too much.
Yeah,
because I think that they're trying to expand so much that they forget that what works was just the core of that group in the first Avengers. Yeah, that core group, and they could. But I get it. You can't repeat what you've done because then people, you're just doing the same thing as that. So you have to change it up. I get that part, and so I'm just very confused where this phase is going, and I don't know how they're gonna connect every single thing together, and so. We just have to watch and see. I guess in Feige we trust, as we say.
In Feige we trust. So, I guess we have to wait and see.
Yeah. Anyway, do you have anything else you want to talk about? Thor: Love and Thunder. I do love the ending.
The ending was fun. It was cute.
It's love and cute. Thunder, and so they come together. I thought that was really cute.
So Gore's last request is protect her, and he takes her straight into battle.
That's actually Chris Hemsworth's daughter.
That's what I thought. I was wondering that.
Everybody's in it, like Natalie Portman's kids in it, Taika's kids in it.
Okay.
But Christian Bale kids in there. Like they had all the kids in this.
Are they the ones that were in the cage?
Yeah, some of I don't know which one was which, but yeah, they're in there. And so, but
okay.
I love that. The ending was fine. I thought that was perfect. I just wonder what Thor's gonna do now. Like. They can't have Taika. They have to have somebody else do this and change his character to some more seriousness. And so, but I can only hope because I can't
get the Russo brothers back into it, man.
They're rumored to do X-Men.
Oh,
so
all right, that's got me excited.
We'll see. Anyway, folks, I think that we're gonna wrap this discussion up. Have you seen Thor: Love and Thunder? If you have, what do you think of the film? Do you think it's too many jokes? Or do you think it's just right for you? Do you think that this movie works for you as another Thor Ragnarok, just in a different title? If you really think about it, comment down below. Let us know what you think of the movie. Please don't forget to subscribe, and always remember that we're do our best to bring you content, and hopefully you will listen to us. But until then, be kind.